Hi, thanks for tuning into the video. Before we get started, I wanted to invite you over to my personal website at toddbrandon.com. There you can find out more about me, and you can even contact me through the website. And now, on to the video. Hi everybody, it's Todd Brandon, and in the last video we did a little more work on our forms. We actually wired up the select button to select a vendor and open up our vendor detail form. So it opens with the vendor name, the vendor website, and then we have this back to main button that gets us back to the main form. We still have some work to do on the vendor detail form. We need to bring in the contacts for the vendor. We haven't built that form yet. We'll build that form and then we'll insert it into this form as a subform. But we left off the last video with an issue with our main form. And so if I close that, I'll double click that and reopen it. And when it opens, our combo box with our vendors is blank. And that's the way we want it. So we don't want to pre-select any vendor. We want to leave it blank so a user can start typing a name. We did that before. If you start typing something, it'll populate with a vendor name, which is a great user experience. But let me close this once again. Let me reopen it. What is actually a terrible user experience, if it's blank and somebody happens to click the select button, they get this nasty error. And if you don't know how to build stuff in Access or code things, or you don't have access to the back end, you don't know how to fix this, and you shouldn't have to fix it. So the problem is we haven't selected a vendor. So in previous videos, we've talked about criteria for our query, contact by vendor, is the vendor ID. And when we select a vendor name from this dropdown, it actually will return a value that is the vendor ID, and that's how we actually get from here to here. So we need to fix that. We need to handle that so it doesn't throw this error, and we can actually throw a more elegant handler to, like with a message box to the user to say, please select a vendor name before clicking the select button or whatever. We'll come up with something. So in this video, we're going to do that. So let me close our vendor detail form, and let's go to, let's click on the main, click on our tab here and go to Design View. And then we'll click the select button. That gets us over here in our property sheet on the event tab to our on-click event. We'll click that builder button and we'll come back to our code here. So now we have to do a little flow control. We're going to use an if statement to control the flow of the code based on what the user selects, or in this case doesn't select. So let's think about what we know. We know that when we select a vendor name, it returns a numeric value, which is the vendor ID. Well, that's really kind of cool because we can do an if statement based on the value and then route the flow of the code accordingly. So I'm going to copy this here. It's my combo box value, and I'm going to type if, Control V to paste that. And I'm going to say if it's greater than 0, because we know our vendor ID is a non-negative value. It's always going to be something greater than 0, right? So if it's greater than 0, then we're going to do this do command line. And if you've never used an if statement, it's just if, else, end if. And then you type in the code between those. And so what it means is basically if this condition here is true, then do this line of code. Else, do something else. And that's going to be what we need to do there is output a message box to the user, basically in a nice way saying you didn't select a vendor, you need to select a vendor before you click that button again. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a message box that says, please select a valid vendor name. or please select a vendor from the list. And that should be all we need to do. So we'll click Save. We're going to close this. We'll go back to Form View and select that. Works just fine. So we know that portion of the if statement works. I'm going to close this. I'm going to double click to open it. Click Select with no vendor selected. We get our message box. Please select a vendor from the list. Okay. It's going to end that sub procedure. So we're going to start over fresh. So every time somebody selects that clicks the select button without selecting a vendor, they're going to get that message box. So we've handled that in a more elegant way than throwing that error. We actually avoided the error altogether because we actually have some code that actually handles the null value. So we've got that set to go. The next thing we need to do now is design and develop a form that includes the values from our query contact by vendor. So let's go to Create, and we'll go to Form Design. And what we're going to do here is I don't really need to extend this out as far as the others, but I'll go ahead and do it about right here. And I'm going to go to, we already have our form, that upper left-hand box selected. So I'm going to go to Property Sheet. And I need to select a record source for this. And it's going to be my query, and that should show up in that drop-down, Query Contact by Vendor. So when we do that, now we can go up here in the Tools section of our Design tab, and we can click on Add Existing Fields. So this gives us all the fields from our query. So I'm going to select all of these by clicking on one, either at the top or the bottom. I'll hold the Shift key down and select either the top or bottom, whichever is the opposite to select all of them. I will drag and drop, and it brings them in this really ugly format here. So I'm going to close the field list. The next thing I'm going to do before I do anything else, I'm going to come to the Arrange tab. I'm going to go over here to the Table section, and I'm going to click on Tabular. Now it puts it in this tabular format where we have sort of a top or form header section and then the detail section below. I need to unhighlight those because I need to now go and highlight just the text boxes. And I want to bring these up to the top of this section, right about there. So then I also need to hold down the Control key and then highlight all these, drag across all these headers. Now I can pull all of this stuff. Make sure I've got a four-sided arrow. Pull those all the way over here to the left, just about right there. I have my first name. That should be about the right amount of room for a first name. For the second or the last name, yeah. So if I highlight on this text box for the last name until I get this double-sided arrow, I can bring this out a little bit longer. And then for the contact phone, that looks about right. I might want to bring out the email text box a little bit longer, and then the contact title, yeah, maybe a little bit longer like that. So the next thing I want to do, let's scroll down here. Let's find this footer thing, and when you get a double-sided arrow at the top of it, let's drag that up a little bit, and let's continue to drag that up until it's right below those text boxes. That might be too much. I want to bring up this a little bit too. All right, let's save this. Let's call this SFM underscore contact by vendor. All right, click OK. Now I'm going to right click and go to Form View. And yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Something like that. It looks like our email address needs to be a little bit longer, and the last name should probably be shorter. And then we need to fix our header labels. So let's go back to Design View. Let's click on last name real quick. Let's bring this to about here. And then let's bring the email one out just a little bit longer. All right, so now I can fix these headers. So let's put a space between first name. I don't really need contact to be a part of that. I'm going to do the same. All I'm doing is clicking twice inside that box, and it gets me to this stage here where I can edit. So click once, click twice, and then I'm just going to remove contact from each. once, twice, and then remove that, and then once, twice, and then I'll go ahead and just put a space on this one. I think contact title is a good enough header for that. And yeah, so let's go back to form view. Let's check our headers. Looks pretty good. I might want to center those. And yeah, let's center those. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do a couple of things. So if I click in the header, the grid of the header, and you see this form header bar turn black, that means the header bar is selected. I want to go to back color, and I actually want to match that to that color. But what I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to have to go into each header label box, but I can select all. If I hold the shift key down, boom, boom, and then that's first name. And with all of them selected, I'm going to go and I'm going to go to the Format tab. I'm going to change the fore color to that almost white, and then I'm going to change the font to Sego. Actually, Sego UI. Fix that, and then it looks pretty good. And then I need to change the fonts in these two to Sego. Sego UI, in fact. All right, so if I go to form view, that looks a little bit better, but now I notice I need my phone number a little bit wider. So let's go back to design view. Let's click out of that. Let's go to contact phone and highlight that, and then that needs to go out a little bit longer, and then let's double check that in form view again. Looks better. You know, I was also going to center those, but yeah, why not? Let's do that. Let's go to design view again. Let me close the property sheet real quick. And I think I can hover across, drag across all those. Now I've got them all selected. I'll go to property sheet, and then it's going to be text align. It's going to be center. And then let's check that by right-clicking and going to form view. I like that better. Again, it's personal preference, so do it however you want to do it. So anyway, this is now our subform, or what's our subform form. It's not quite a subform yet. It's a standalone form, but I'm going to save and close it. So the next step in the next video is going to be to add a subform element here, and we'll use this subform that we just created to populate that. So we'll do that in the next video. I'll see you there.